Hello and welcome to the Case IH Axial Flow 250 Series Combine Operation Guide. In this video we shall be looking at the Thrashing and Separation system, its features, access, crop settings and maintenance. The guards have high-speed transport locks. These need to be released and stored in the unlock position. Open the outer guards. The latches need to be released with a small pin or rod. They have a secondary safety latch, which then needs to be released. Gas struts hold the guards safely open. Remove the white covers to gain full view and access to the rotor and rotor cage. The operator can change the rotor configuration and the rotor speed. The overall speed range is from 220 rpm to 1180 rpm. This is divided by the 3-speed mechanical gearbox directly connected to the back of the rotor. The speeds are selected via the lever on the left-hand side of the combine. High speed number 3 will enable a range from 720 to 1180 rpm. Medium number 2 will give a range from 410 to 780 rpm, and low speed number 1 will give 220 to 440 rpm. The variable speeds are controlled by the in-cab switch, which can be changed whilst in work by the operator or, in the case of harvest command machines, automatically. Generally, slower rotor speeds are kinder on straw quality, and higher speeds give better rotor separation performance. For cereal crops, use gear 3 speed range, and for all other crops, including oilseed rape and pulses, use gear 2 speed range. However, be prepared to experiment to achieve best performance to satisfy your requirements. The UK standard small tube rotor configuration is with 36 RAS bars mounted in 4 spirals and consists of 18 by 10 degree RAS bars in the front for best thrashing performance, 10 28 degree RAS bars at the back, interspersed with 8 28 degree spiked bars for separation. The little spikes giving excellent separation performance. This configuration can be changed, but the bars must be changed in pairs directly opposite each other to ensure that rotor balance is retained. As a rule of thumb for the UK, if thrashing and separation performance is the priority, the standard configuration would be required. If straw quality is a priority, then some or all of the 10 degree and 28 degree spiked bars should be replaced by the 28 degree bars. Please note that the spiked bars can only be positioned at the back half of the rotor if or when required. Otherwise, they will interfere with the adjustable concave. Case IH UK demonstrators have found that for all-round performance, the best setup is using 10 of the 10 degree bars in the front, with the remaining 26 bars all to be the 28 degree non-spiked bars. This seems to be a good compromise for all-round performance. However, be prepared to experiment to achieve best performance to satisfy your own requirements. The operator is, if required, able to rock the rotor in both directions. If the rotor becomes plugged or blocked, the clutch will automatically be thrown into neutral and the combine warning system will alert the operator to stop. The operator must first shut down the combine and check to see what has caused the blockage. If the blockage is in the chopper area, this must be cleared first. When the operator is convinced that the blockage is only in the rotor area, then he can operate the deslug mode. To do this, it is best to select a lower manual rotor gear, then lower the concave and finally carry out the deslug instructions. Start up the combine and select rotor reverse by lifting and pulling back the thrashing engagement switch. A message will appear on the screen with instructions as to what to do next. Push the switch forward to engage everything on the base unit excepting the rotor and go up to maximum speed. Finally, using the rotor speed switch, momentarily press the minus side and then the plus side for no more than 2 or 3 seconds at a time, rocking the rotor backwards and forwards until the blockage is loosened. When you feel it to be loose enough to be fed out through the chopper, press and hold the plus side key. The rotor cage can be divided up into 3 sections. The upper section with nearly 180 degrees of perforations and cage or transport vanes. The lower rear section, which is fixed with 4 separation modules fitted. The lower front section with 4 thrashing modules fitted, hinged, enabling the operator to move it closer or further away from the rotor for changes to thrashing performance. The cage or transport vanes are rather like a screw thread that can be adjusted from coarse to fine thread, increasing or decreasing the exit speed of the crop, thus changing the time that the rotor has to separate the seed from the residue. The bolted, manually adjusted vanes will come from the factory set in the midway position and will only be moved in extreme situations when all other rotor and cage adjustments have been exhausted. The manual turnbuckle vanes can easily be adjusted using suitable tools from inside the guards just above the rotor cage. The indicator plate will help the adjustment procedure. The electrical in-cab or externally switched vanes are very easy to adjust before or whilst in work, thus being able to judge results immediately. Harvest command machines will be making these adjustments automatically. The vane position will be shown on the Pro 700 screen. Ultimately, these adjustments will increase or decrease the number of times that the crop is spun within the rotor and cage, thus increasing or decreasing the efficiency and tuning of your combine's separation performance. Be aware that the longer the crop is held in the system, the more straw damage will occur, but the better the separation performance will be, and vice versa. The lower front section with the 4 thrashing modules fitted is hinged on the right with a motor on the left, enabling the operator to move it closer or further away from the rotor for changes to thrashing performance. Closer for more aggressive and further away for more gentle thrashing. Should the concave motor not work, the concave can be manually set by operating the turn screw as seen. Be sure to shut the combine down before manually adjusting it. For efficient season-long performance, every winter this movable section needs to be squared or zeroed to the rotor. This is achieved using the bracketry on the right-hand side to get the cage to run true to the rotor and at the same time, if allowed, to touch the rotor at the bottom dead center or 6 o'clock position. Of course, the concave stop bolts would actually stop the concave from touching the rotor after setup. More information on zeroing can be found in the operator's manual. There are many different types of modules available. Standard with each UK combine are 4 small wire modules, 4 large wire modules, and 4 skip wire modules. Also available from your dealers are round bar modules, plain modules, and slotted hole modules. The modules are all handed, so be sure to have them correctly positioned. They are marked L and R on the frame. They can easily be removed and replaced by using a 16 and 18 mm spanner on the two visible bolts. Undo the bolt head and not the nut. The nut has a gripper on its washer and is difficult to move. Lower the modules and rest them on the support bolts. Then slide them away from the lower positioning dowels and remove. Looking at the chart, this would be a general setup for each main crop type, but of course there is further information in the operator's manual and other available setup pamphlets. However, be prepared to experiment and mix and match the modules to achieve the best performance to satisfy your requirements. The rotor loss monitor sensor pads are located at the back of the rotor on the left and right hand frame just inside the guarding. Please ensure that they are checked for dirt buildup and if necessary clean them with a soft cloth. The loss graph is shown on the Pro 700 screen, and once the loss seen on the ground is acceptable, the sensitivity of the monitor can be adjusted to suit. Because the rotor is running in a clockwise direction, the residue tends to exit at the back on the right-hand side. To counter this, a straw deflector is fitted to help centralize the residue exiting the combine. Depending upon the specification, this deflector is adjustable by means of a manually positioned rod or an electric motor switched from within the cab and seen on a pop-up window on the Pro 700 screen. Depending upon the weight and the moisture of the residue, the deflector will occasionally need adjustment. Otherwise, residue will be spread unevenly across the field, or the swath will be uneven, making for difficult baling conditions. The only grease point in this section is on the front rotor bearing, this being needed every 600 hours or every winter service. Always remember that more comprehensive information can be found in the operator's manual, which should be read prior to harvest operations, maintenance and repairs. Thank you for watching and have a great season.